Code Digest morning show here on CLOG TV. CLOG TV is located in the ministries here in Accra. My name is Beaches Bampuado and I welcome you all. Today we'll be having a very interesting topic to discuss. The topic has raised concerns about Ghana's development. It has raised concerns and debates. So today we'll be talking about sanitation here on the main show, and also we have the business and the lifestyle segment coming up. We'll have the online newspaper review also. But before then, let's take our motivational quotes for the day. So our motivational quotes for the day is from Audrey Hepburn, and he is saying that the best thing to hold on to in life is each other. The best thing to hold on to life is each other. He's admonishing us and telling us that one of the most important aspects of life is the bond we have with each other. Remember, it's not everywhere we are welcomed, so please don't overstay your welcome if you know the person you are with is not so okay with you. Yeah, because your heart matters to you and your life also matters. So in as much as Audrey is telling us that the best thing to hold on to in life is each other, know the kind of people you are holding on to. Thank you. Up next is the online newspaper print review.
CLOG TV, beyond the policy.
On the front page, we have President direct action on oral cases. We'll bring details of that later in a discussion. And also, we have implements child online protection policy. Activists demand ahead of the Internet Safety Day. We have also on the Daily Graphic, Okada legalization process begins. We have all set for Council of State election today. These are what are trending on the front line of the Daily Graphic. Clemens, what do you have?
So on the front line of graphic business, we have Treasury bill rate eases. That is, last Friday, governments rejected about 2 billion worth of money in terms of Treasury bill. And I know the business update segment will bring us details of that story. We also have empowering growth and success in 2025, that is from Absa Bank, Ghana. Okay. And also Telecommunications Chamber, that is Telecoms Chamber, ready to engage on SIM card re-registration. So these are the story headlines on the graphic business front page.
All right. So on the Mirror, we have Faith Meets Fashion. We have Kokma locks horns with coconut sellers over waste disposal on the front page of the Mirror. Let's take what is trending on our social media. Edna, hello, how are you?
Hi, Beatrice.
You look great.
Thank you.
Okay, so what are trending on social media today?
So I have two social media trends, and the first has to do with Apostle Solomon Odro. Beatrice, do you know Apostle Solomon Odro?
Yes, yes, yes.
He is the husband to Reverend Charlotte Odro, our popular counselor.
Yeah.
And then he released an official statement yesterday, and it says, official announcement to the dissolution of marriage between Apostle Solomon Odro and Reverend Charlotte Odro. This is so sad because it is about a divorce, and anything that pops in mind is about who cancel counselor. Looking at the fact that this very Reverend Charlotte Odro has been advising the youth, the single, the marriage, everything concerning how to keep your man, how to pamper him. Do not quit, Beatrice. Anything that happens, settle with him. And now there is a statement concerning a divorce between her husband and her. What do you say about this issue, Beatrice?
Charlie, they be in the leadership position in the church, I think it raises concern. But I also saw a video of her saying that if you have anybody within your caucus with you and the person is bringing negativity, open the door and let the person go. So
I think we have the video.
She has endured. We don't know what is on the other side, but from what she's saying, I think she has endured so much.
Exactly. Let's take a look at a video she made some time ago concerning this, her counseling job and everything relating to it.
It goes kind of back and make it out. You say, yo, what's wrong? Always remember, let's pump on them. When you come, my dear, dance for not to massage and I say, hey, day, and Magua who must be pride is killing women. Pride when they get little chicken change, but they have little in India in their account and they have connection. People they know me, I know this, I know it, but they don't know anybody. Keep quiet and submit.
So these are some comments I had from people, and it says, Dr. Sneak Anyami says, marriage counselor said they suffer for relationship. It is not easy, Beatrice. Another one from Accra Mayor says, marriage counselor no fit keep in relationship. This is what I've been getting since yesterday. Everyone is talking about how surprised they are because she is a marriage counselor, and then what is she going to advise to we the single ones who are yearning to get married some time to come? And also my second story is about a young guy and his little brother, and then there was an official statement saying a video of two young boys dangerously crossing a makeshift bridge in an attempt to get home from school at Asamankese Esuakau has sparked outrage among concerned individuals. However, following the video's rounds on social media, MP for the Lower West Akim constituency, Honorable Owen Kwame Frempong, has paid a visit to the young boys in hopes of rewarding the elders' selflessness and assessing the situation towards the construction of a bridge. And as a result of this, I keep asking myself, so when will our MPs be doing the rightful things in their constituency so something pops up and goes viral? Looking at it, he knew exactly this has been there over the years, but so when, unless someone mistakenly dies or someone falls into this bridge to cause serious injury to himself or herself. So I think this video was helpful in some way, but looking at it, the person videoing this particular video didn't help, because what if the children fell in an attempt to make this social media trends and everything? Beatrice, can you say something about this?
So the person might have seen the boy over the days doing this, and therefore he wants something to be done about the situation. I think that's why. I'm sure he had a conversation with the boy before he tried crossing, and I'm sure the boy also assured him that they are safe and all that. So this is a good thing, and I think authorities should take up the blame, because these are communities, these are school children. If he had drowned in the water, there would be a burial. People would shed their condolences and all. But there's a national issue. I'm not sure it's only them, their family and all. I'm sure it's the community who passes through. So something has to be on this and other issues like that.
Exactly. I have 2 comments to read about this particular issue. And it says, from F4 File, he says, fix the bridge and stop this social media nonsense. So what at all the MP go do for there if the problem still persists? And also this is from Ola Season, and it says, this is risky. And at the same time, the boy is a very good brother. He deserves every good thing. I mean, a parent leaving his or her child to walk on this makeshift bridge is so risky. But I leave it over to you, Beatrice, and that's all I have for you on today's social media trends.
Thanks so much, and see you on the lifestyle segment. Charlie Clement, you saw the video.
Yes.
Saw the video. This is disheartening. Had it not been for the efforts of the young guy, they would all be dead by now, and there wouldn't be any trending story for today. But I'm sure you have something to say about that.
Yes. So, I think the president, I would say he has done very well. And I don't know who was able to push that video till it got to him.
Yes.
The person too has done very well.
Exactly.
And this is the state of some communities in Ghana. I always say that when you are in Accra, in Kumasi, seriously, you don't know what is going on in some villages.
Yeah.
So if people are complaining, you might think they talk too much. But they are talking about what they are going through. And look at the kind of bridge. Students.
Yeah.
Not even the elderly, the students. And as Edna said, what happens if they had fallen into the water? And I was listening to the MP in one interview, and he said that especially during the rainy season, he says just a tree. And during the rainy season, it overflows. So what is the other alternative?
The tree even becomes slippery and all that.
So what is the other alternative for these people? I think the Ministry of Defense have taken a very quick action, because they have assigned their 48 engineering, that's the engineering department of military, and they have assessed the cost involved and everything of the bridge, constructing the bridge. So I think it's a good thing. We just want to see it done urgently, because it needs urgent attention. And we will say that other places who are facing the same issue too should be looked at very, very, very well. They shouldn't leave them as it is, because looking on the screen, looking at the young guy carrying...
He has really tried so well for his brother.
Yes. Yes, so I think they should do it as...
But do you know what caught my attention is the river and how it is.
And that's another discussion.
That's what caught my attention. I'm not actually looking at the boy, I'm looking at the river.
So they should...
asking myself whether Galamsey is still ongoing.
Galamsey is still ongoing, as you can see. This one looks like, sorry to say, like tea. So Galamsey is still ongoing. So I think the president and the ministry should use
when they go there, they should take the opportunity to see what is happening really on the ground.
Yes. So they should give them the first idea about Galamsey, what we've been complaining about. and they should tackle it very, 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 very well. So I would say that one, the Defense Ministry, they've done well, led by the Honorable Dr. Omanibuama. So we want to see more steps, especially in the few days. That's what the president said. He said we'll give urgent attention.
Sure.
So I want to see that.
We are hoping to see a better bridge than a log of wood. It's interesting.
People go through a lot, though.
Yes.
People go through. So the question is, what happens if this video was not out? They would have been through the same situation for number of years that God knows.
So if someone asks, is there motivation for these kids going to school? There's no motivation, because look at the bridge condition.
And after the bridge, look at what the mountain, the mountainous area. So the last time I think we were discussing about the basic education. All these are issues they should look at. Yes, it comes from the basic education. So how do you expect a kid like this passing through the situation, go to class and study, and expect the kid to come out with flying colors?
It's a simple video, but there are so many things into it.
Sure.
There are so many things to tackle when it comes to this video. So I hope when they go there, the authorities go there, they will find real solutions to all other aspects aside the bridge. What is trending again? What do you have?
Another trending story is the fact that the national security have been able to, should I say, about 12 containers. It was having or carrying, for now, counterfeit money and also bar gold. They said it's fake. So we are yet to know.
Which one is the fake one? Is it the bar of gold?
Bar of gold and the counterfeit. Fake. Yes, that's what the report is saying. So we are yet to see how fake. Is it the real?
Interesting, because national security cannot go there, and their work and their labor would be in vain.
Exactly. So we want to see how really fake all these items are. But there are few things I think we should take a critical look at, because this thing passed through the ports. It didn't pass anywhere. It didn't pass through. Sorry to use the word Burkina, nor Togo, nor Niger. It passed through our ports. So what happens? Who was in charge of these containers? Who cleared these containers? These are the questions. And for how long has these containers been at the Tema port? So these are the questions I think national security need to equally explain to Ghanaians. The timing. How come they were able to transport it from the Tema port or Tema Harbour all the way to a Sapema warehouse? And who owns the warehouse?
So now, these dollars are fake? They are counterfeit?
Yes. Wow. That's the report.
I wouldn't believe this.
These dollars are fake. That's what national security told us. Wow. So I'll come to the aspect of the impact of this fake money on the economy. As you know, as a businessman, we will equally talk about issues like this. But as I was saying, one, the timing of the issue. How come it passes through the ports, all the security checks, till it goes to Sepema? And the question, who even give the tip off? Is it still the traces of national security?
They said one Alaji owns that.
Yeah, so he's the one now they are looking for. But the Alaji has subordinates. So if you are not getting the Alaji, you can get a subordinate. The driver, to me, I don't know, but to be frank, the drivers who were able to carry containers to this warehouse, all these people should be invited. I know that technical skills will do that. They should invite all these people. That's who asked you to do this. Because it wasn't just the Alaji. We have clearing agents at the port. All these people need to be investigated. All the customs, any gate be away containing FMB, there should be investigation. Because we can't keep on having issues like this. We were in this country, I think, before election, and we had the news about arms, guns, and all that things also found at the Tema port. I think till now we've not gotten the detailed reports of the findings of all these things. So these
questions are security at the checkpoint.
Yes. So if we have been able to smuggle in currencies, and the question is, where is it coming from?
Sure.
Is it from the neighboring country? Is it from outside the other foreign countries, or where is this currency coming from? So all these questions.
But there were Ghanaian cedis in it.
Yes, where Ghanaian cedis, 50 cedis notes, and 100 cedis notes, and the bar of gold. When you look at it, they said it looked look like a metallic gold. Actually, that's what the story.
Looks like a real.
Yes,
gold
it
bar.
looks like a real gold bar. So, as I said, all these things need to be looked at. And the other thing is, how did the national security, as I said, got this information? Was it a tip off? Or it's from their own traces.
They said this was a tip off.
Yes.
Actually.
So if a tip off, then we should be able to. Then I still have the question. We have scanning all over the port.
Yeah.
What did they scan?
Don't they check the content?
That is the point. So it means we have a major security threat. And I know the national security would work on it. And the timing, as I said earlier, what time did this thing get to the port, actually? Okay. And how long has it been there for it to be cleared before the warehouse at Sapema? So I think all these things need to be brought out to Ghanaians. Let us understand what is really happening. Because previously we didn't get a detailed report of all this. We don't want it to happen this time around. If we are fighting this corruption, we are fighting illegal things in the country, then we should take a critical step on this very issue, on the aspect of the impact of this kind of currency be on our economy. It's going to affect us greatly. If this money should be in circulation, now they said I think they are now in search for other 2 containers. So the question is, in addition to this, so the question is, where would they get these 2 containers? And what if these 2 containers, the content are already in circulation? The money involved are already in circulation. What is the impact on our economy? And this thing is having a great impact on the economy. Especially, it's going to devalue our Ghana cedis. People will not see the value for the cedis again and some other foreign currencies. Why? Because they would realize that, after all, they have a number or chunk of fake cedis in the system. So if there are chunk of fake cedis in the system, even if they see the money, they might think it's fake. So this is the time they need to do a lot of education. BOG need to come out, national security need to come out. They should do a lot of education on this issue. When it comes to the aspect of inflation, this issue or this currency, if it has gone in circulation, is going to affect our inflation. Why? Because it's going to push prices. Because now buyers or producers will know that Ghanaians have more money. Because
if it's counterfeit,
yes,
they'll still think that
they'll still think, because they wouldn't know it's counterfeit. So we'll still be spending the money. So if I'm sitting here and I have a lot of counterfeit, about $20,000 counterfeit on me, I can buy whatever I want to buy. So producers will get to know, oh, now there is a lot of money in the system. So then, in the aspect of demand and supply, since the supply is less and the demand is very high, it will push price. So we are going to experience high prices. That is inflation. And that is what is called artificial inflation. So these are some of the impacts that this very issue would have on our economy. And on the other side is the fact that foreign investors, the question is, what confidence will they have in the economy? If this
That's a big question.
That's a big question. If this thing has been able to pass through the port to an extent that someone just give a tip off, what confidence are they going to have in the economy? So we expect the national security people should work very hard. COP Kofi Boakye, we've heard of him, we know what he can do those days. So we want him and his team to work on this issue very hard, to bring us the report, what's really, or what all this is all about. We know that at the end of the day, there might be one person being a big person, whether in government or person, who might, one way or the other, be associated to all these things. They should bring all these things to bear, so that we solve this issue once and for all.
Are you saying an ordinary Ghanaian cannot bring this up?
An ordinary Ghanaian can bring this up. Oh, that's it. An ordinary Ghanaian. What do an ordinary Ghanaian have?
What does he need to print counterfeit? Is it not just papers? And if the money comes into the
machine involved is even expensive.
Probably he will pay after the money regenerated
and also
the real thing.
Paying the port money, the kind of transporting from wherever it is to this country. I think it's very hard for an ordinary Ghanaian to bear such costs. Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So there should be there is an investment stand somewhere.
Okay.
And I think the national security, we know they can do this job.
Yeah.
So they should bring us all the information that we need.
But my other concern is the one who did the tip-off. I think protection has to be given.
Exactly.
A maximum one has to be given to him, because the whisper who blew this needs some kind of protection, serious one, because his life is in danger at this point in time. And also the allergy. There are so many allergies in town, so I don't know
which kind of allergy. So we need a clarification. Yes.
On this particular one.
Which kind of do you want us to give information to? Which kind of allergy? You have a allergy.
If you see any allergy, you should be suspicious.
No. Our allergies are not that. Some of them. Let's use them. Some of them. So I think national security should bring out all the information we need, so we can equally help them work on this very issue.
Okay, that's all you have.
Yes.
Let me quickly go through the stories for today. This is on the oral, and it says that according to the Operation Recover All Loots Oral Committee, 2,417 complaints from private citizens and civil society organizations have been submitted to the committee so far. This was disclosed by Oral Committee Chairman Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa yesterday when the team's final report was presented to President John Dramani Mahama. This program is a component of continuous initiative to fight corruption and reclaim public funds that have been embezzled. Let's watch a video of the presentation of the committee's final investigation, and when we come back we'll have a discussion.
Yes, and these are very important numbers. We received 1,493 calls through the toll-free line, 1,493. We also received 924 emails. Fortunately, all of these calls are recorded automatically, and all the emails have also been preserved for verification and validation. So in total, the number of complaints received amounts to 2,417. So that was the chairman of the oral committee there, Okudzeto-Ablakwa, Honorable, and we also have a video of the president receiving this report. Let's quickly watch it.
Receive this report, let me assure the Ghanaian people that the work does not end here. The recommendations of the report will be carefully studied, and where legal action and investigations are warranted, they will be pursued without fear or favor. Every peso recovered will be channeled back into national development, and mechanisms will be strengthened to prevent such losses in the future. I have promptly handed over the report to the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, and I give him firm instructions to commence immediate investigations into the cases reported in here with a view to prosecuting anyone found liable for corruption or related offenses.
So this is oral starting, and we have discussions on this particular thing, but before that I have a couple messages I want to read out. And Na says, good morning, CLOG TV. I love you so much. And we have a message from Oheniba JB from Tesano. He says, this video was realized just within a day. Have we considered the number of years this my brother have been carrying his younger brother on this drop tree across the river? This happened yesterday. What will happen today and tomorrow? Oh, Mother Ghana. So this is in reference to the video of the young boy crossing the bridge. Oral have started, Clement.
The
reports have been submitted. What are your expectations?
Well, oral starts, you said, did the transition process. And when it came up, we had a lot of news surrounding it. And now they are done with their work, as they told us. And when I listened to the chairman carefully, he said they used 53 days. Yes, 53 days for all these findings put together, their report, and they've submitted to the president. So I think now the Attorney General and the other agencies are supposed to take this issue up and see the next action taken. Yes, the president said he is assuring that legal actions will be taken if they realize that some cases need to go through the legal means, and equally they would pay critical attention to some of them. But I have a few concerns. But before that, let me just speak a little bit about the report I listened. They said 44 petitions were received directly from civil society organizations. So meaning that out of the total number of cases they had, civil society organizations brought over 44 petitions to them. So meaning that Ghanaians were actually interested in this Operation Recover or Loot. Why? Because of how the political landscape has been, or how things have happened over the years. If after the findings of oral, nothing is done, then trust me, the trust in governance, Ghana governance, is going to be zero. Because after this report or after this findings, and we don't see any action being taken by the president, by the attorney general, then the governance or trust in governance is going to be totally zero. We wouldn't trust the fight against corruption again. That is one thing I just want to say. And aside that, the chairman also made us understand that 59 out of the 230 cases reviewed. So out of the 2,407 suspected cases or the complaint they had, they reviewed 230 cases. And out of that, 59 of them were reports related to when NDC was in opposition. That is mean that the last 8 years in governance. So
they started the research before they came into power?
No, they are saying that people give them information, even regarding last 8 years, last 16 years ago. So
they followed up?
Yes, they followed up. And they had 59, which is related to just ended government. Okay. And with that, they are saying that we will see the next phase 2. From the oral chair, there's going to be a phase 2 of oral. And what is that phase 2 all about? The phase 2 all about is the point of retrieving all the assets, all the stolen money, or whatever they have put together. The phase 2 is let's get it back to the government.
That's our interesting times coming up.
That's an interesting time coming up. Very interesting, very interesting. And they also made it understand that about 50 bungalows were saved under the watch of oral. Because per their own findings, they realized that these 50 bungalows were going to be pulled down by private developers because have been sold to them. But with the intervention and also with the national security, they were able to save these 50 bungalows. I think it's laudable. So the question is, who are these private developers? And I think, as they said, investigation will go through. So we wouldn't like to jump into that very matter.
We want to see the names published so these people can be put to shame.
I believe that parts of the oral reports need to be published.
Yes.
It shouldn't only be with the Office of the Attorney General. Parts of it need to be published. Let Ghanaians know the work you've done. You just give us, let's say, a summary, not even a summary, just a highlight of it. Let Ghanaians know who, at least, not even the names, just give us some preamble. Let's know something.
Transparency.
For transparency. So we would say that the Office of the Minister of Justice need to give us some part of the report. If not all, let's get to know. Are the findings very factual? If they are not factual, then what is the next step of action? So these are the things we expect. And then aspect is also have to deal with state assets takeover. We know that over a transition period, there were a lot of news we heard, taking cars, taking over this, taking over this. So they are saying that in their own find, they realized that a whole lot of car numbers plates were being changed. So with the help of the national security, we were able to secure all these assets for the country. So that is a good thing.
Yeah.
Then that is very interesting to me. Before we go to other matters of oral, is the monetary value.
Okay.
Is the monetary value. I think the first one we talk about the business aspect of the counterfeit. This time we're going to talk about monetary value. Per their report, they said out of 36 cases that they have reviewed, and they think that these cases need to be looked at, is going to give us an amount of 20.4 billion United States dollars. If these 36 cases are revisited and are looked at carefully, we are going to get an amount of 20.49 billion United States dollars.
Wow.
Which is almost 7 times the bailout IMF gave us.
Wow.
Yes. Because IMF gave us 3 billion.
And all those monies are in the country.
All those monies are in the country. We don't know whether they are in people's pockets or we don't know where they are, but they are in the country.
So when I saw this touch of money, I was thinking about the case of Cecilia Dapa, and I was thinking people have advanced not keeping monies in their houses now, but storing them in warehouses. But all the same, people are smart. They are trying to outsmart.
Yes. So this 36 cases, I think he just mentioned stories related to that. He mentioned the issue of National Cathedral. He mentioned the issue of PDS. He mentioned the issue of SML. He mentioned the issue of GNPC salt pond being commissioned. So all these issues, he is saying that, or Oral is saying that the Attorney General or the various agencies need to look at this very issue.
Sure.
And when they looked at it very carefully, we are going to get an amount of 20.49 billion Ghana cedis.
That should save Ghana.
That will save Ghana. We will not go to IMF again. Yes, I would say that.
Interesting days ahead.
And aside that, he also touched on the issue of state land.
Okay.
That's when you go to a place like cantonments, that we all know that some people or some people can't buy land there because of how the cost involved.
Yeah.
So they said oral findings prove that cantonment land are being sold for 40,000 Ghana cedis per a plot of land. Yes, of which when you go to a place like Amasaman, you get it more than that. So the question is, why will you sell a plot of land at cantonment for 42? Very cheap. So they are saying that if all these things are being looked at, and whoever bought that land is to pay the market value or the real cost of this land, then Ghana is going to get an amount of $702.8 million United States dollars.
So we are not taking the land away from them.
Yes,
we are going to put more value on the land for them.
They are saying that if we are not taking the land from them and they still want to have the land, and at the end of the day, then pay the actual price. So they take the actual price for you and you pay.
Wow.
If you can't pay, then they take the land. So if people are willing to pay the actual price for the land we are talking about, we are going to get an amount of 702.8 million United States dollars from this state.
But how did
land.
they value the land?
Okay,
land like
so
that
they said they had a talk with experts.
Okay.
Those who did, and they gave them the amount for the market value for land of cantonment, and they are saying that it amounts to almost 500,000 Ghana cedis per plot of land.
Wow.
Yes.
And they paid how much?
Some paid as low as 42,000.
Hey.
Yes. So
Charlie.
it's not even 1/3.
Charlie.
Yes. So, and when you put this money together, we are going to get an amount of close to 21.19 billion United States dollars, which is 7 times the bailout we got from IMF. I'm interested in that because of the monetary value. As a business person, I'll be interested in monetary value because when you look at this amount, meaning that if you go to IMF 7 times, you don't go because of this amount. But the question is, are we really going to pay attention to this? What has been the cases over the years on issue of corruption in this country? How long does it take at the courts or in the legal process for us to come out with issues of corruption? It's surprising that when this government took over, they have dropped high-profile cases. And people ask the question that if we are fighting corruption, why would some cases be dropped? I know the Attorney General or the Office of Minister of Justice will bring us reasons why such cases were dropped. But let's walk viewers through some of the cases because we are talking about issues of oral. So 7 high-profile cases have been dropped by the Attorney General.
Do you know them?
Yes.
Okay.
So the first profile case has to deal with the person of former Works and Housing Minister, Collins Dauda.
Hi.
And the issue was controversy surrounding 200 million United States dollars Sagleme housing project. When he was the minister.
Sagleme housing project that was stalled some time ago.
Yeah. So the amount involved was 200 million United States dollars. They started a case during the era of the previous government till now.
But what did he do to the housing project?
They said the
was
issue.
He in charge?
Yes, he was the minister.
Oh, okay.
So everything happens under your charge.
Okay.
Yes. So the charge actually was 70 counts of causing financial loss to the state. So if an amount worth about 200 million United States dollars, and the charge was 70 counts of causing financial loss to the state, we should have had this issue resolved within just some few days or few months. It shouldn't take us years to resolve the issue. But when the current Attorney General came, he said that I think he has not brought us the actual reason, but he has dropped such case. And people are raising concern.
Was he in the time of NDC or NPP?
So he's an NDC person. That's in the era of, yes.
And now the case has been dropped.
Yes, now the case has been dropped. Another high-profile case which talks about Dr. Ernest Thompson. That's the former Director General of SNIT. And the whole issue was about $66 million United States dollars SNIT Operation Business Suite project. And his charge was financial impropriety causing financial loss to the state. So all these things, the amount of money, but when this Attorney General came, he said the case. I think we are yet to get the reason why such cases have been dropped.
We need to hear them.
Yes, we need to hear. The third case, as we know, it got to the public domain. That happens to deal with the Ato Forsen, Honorable Ato Forsen, the current finance minister. We all heard about the issue about 2.3 million pounds worth of money, procurement of ambulance issue. That ambulance issue and stuff. But when it comes, the charge was allegation of causing a financial case also has been dropped. We also had the issue of Samuel Ofosu Ampofo, former NDC chairman, and his wasn't really about causing financial loss. Okay. His charge was about conspiracy to cause harm to the state and assaulting a police officer. When this Attorney General came, he said we should drop such case. There is another case which deals with the former CEO of COCOBOD. That is Dr. Stephen Kobina Opuni. And the whole issue about him was procurement of unapproved standard fertilizers to COCOBOD. Unapproved substandard fertilizers to COCOBOD. And the charge was defrauding by false pretenses, willfully causing financial loss to the state, and also corruption and money laundering. But when this Attorney General came, they said we should drop such case. Let's last two. Right. The other one is Oliver Bakar Vamao. Yes. So the whole issue was about this recent
during
demonstration. During the demonstration of that, I think Galamsey was something like that.
Yeah,
but when this AG came, they said we should drop such case. There was another case, and this case happens to deal with the current acting general of BOG, the current governor of BOG. And if you had issues that the minority are even saying that there's a lot of criminality surrounding him, so they don't want to approve him and a lot of stuff. I don't know if you heard about that. But those in the business space, we know about that story. Okay. What was the issue? The issue was that as at then, he was the former second deputy governor of BOG. That is the person of Dr. Johnson Isiama. He was then the former second deputy governor of BOG. And when you are the second deputy governor of BOG, you are in charge of all the banking firms in Ghana. All right. So the banks and everything, you are in charge. And his controversy was about involvement in the collapse of Unibank and UT Bank. That was his controversy. And the charge was fraudulent breach of trust, money laundering, conspiracies to commit crime, and violation of the Bank of Ghana Act since 2020. But when this AG came, he said we should drop such case. So these 7 cases have been dropped by this current AG. So people are asking the question that if the 7 cases have been dropped, then what are we going to expect from the reports of the oral? Wow. Yes. But we want the AG to also communicate to us. Yes. I think they should put measures in place, especially our slow legal system that we have. It should be re-looked at. There should be a different court set up to handle the cases of oral. Okay. If legal means are supposed to go through, if there's no legal and they are supposed to use any other means, let's do it as soon as possible. I believe that at least in the next year ahead of us, we should hear a lot of reports on these oral cases.
Yes, so we'll follow up on that. Exactly, and we'll bring that to our viewers. We have a couple of messages before we move to our next story. This is saying, good morning, I am Aben. Okay, good morning, Aben from Kwabenya. It says, if I may ask, what's micro-minority leader Honorable Apenyo worry about the committee hearing publicly? Well, we all saw these behaviors and misbehaviors under this disgraceful act, so they could decide to boycott still. It will continue. Those found capable will be dealt with. Greetings to Honorable Elikplem Akurugu, MP for Domi Kwabenya, and Dr. Anthony Orban, the expert. I didn't really get what he is stating clearly, but I think this is in relation to oral. Yes, he's speaking about open your mark, and there's another one here. And this says that I like this oral movie. The part 1 was full of suspense. The part will be thrilling and intriguing, from H.M. Joe. Another one from him says that I heard Captain Lawyer in Krabia, Dati, if I get that right, Dati, yesterday saying oral reports will lead nowhere. Interesting days ahead. All right, let's move to our second story, and this is about the EPA boss urging plastic manufacturers to explore other alternative ways due to imminent ban. Okay, so plastic manufacturers are being encouraged to shift to eco-friendly alternatives as the country prepares for a gradual ban on plastics. Professor Nana Ama Brown Kluche, the Chief Executive Officer of the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, emphasized that this transition is essential since plastic will soon be phased out of the market. And I quote her, there will be a pushback from plastics producing companies, but we will encourage them to look for alternative businesses like producing paper bags, paper cups, and paper bottles. She stated yesterday the EPA is starting the ban in formal institutions, including airports, supermarkets, and universities, before extending it to the informal sector. According to Professor Kluche, restrictions at airports could take effect within 6 months, given the ease of enforcement. So I think this is a step in the right direction.
It is.
We'll be talking about how we'll manage our sanitation and all that later on the show. Yes. And I think this one came at the right time. What do you have to say about plastic waste being banned from Ghana? Charlie, I'm interested in that too, because all our rubbish are full of plastic waste. Yes. I think that's one contributor.
I think the EPA, I want to ask why. Why do you want to take that such a step?
Oh, there are other African countries like that of Rwanda who have banned plastic waste from the system. Okay. And people are arguing that Rwanda is one of the neatest and the cleanest countries when it comes to Africa. And they've banned it. Yeah. Aside that, there are other things they are doing as well, which are Keren's regional, Greater Accra regional minister, Honorable Linda Oklu, has raised concerns about and has put measures. Talk about this later in our main discussion.
I can see the smile. I can see the smile.
I like this because plastic waste have been headaches. When you look at our shore, all that the sea blows to the shore are plastic waste.
Sure.
So what do you have to say? Is this a step in the right direction?
It is, because plastic waste has a lifespan of about 400 years. It takes about 400 years for plastics to degrade. Yes. Like something like this, polythene bags and stuff, about 400 years. So the question is, I would live, grow and die, still plastic waste will still live.
Yeah.
So I think it's really a step in the right direction. But my concern would always be the business point of view. That these people that we are actually banning them, we are telling them that they should either go to the paper manufacturing, paper bags, or other areas. We have a lot of paper bags manufacturing companies. But
that would be serious. You know, so the bowls we wash in, they are plastic.
Yes.
So that would be a bit difficult.
So what's the alternative? If you are not using
paper,
I'm not going to use the plastic and others, what are you going to use?
We'll go back to our metallic bowl. You remember that 24 size bucket?
Yeah, exactly. That's one thing I remember is those days, that eating-ware bowl. Like, you remember that eating-ware bowl? Yes. You see, you used to eat in it, and it was very nice because, and it lasts long.
It tastes different than...
Very different. Yeah. When you go to some chobas, I don't want to mention the name because people might think we are doing campaign for... we are doing, we are actually doing adverts for them.
Advertising
for them, they don't serve in plastic bowls. They they serve in local dishes and the local those earthenware bowls and stuff. And eating from it, the fun of it alone would make you come again the next day. But away from that, I said the business point of view because
that's on the lighter note. Yeah,
that's on lighter note. When these plastic manufacturing companies are out of the country, we are going to lose close to approximately 2,500 jobs, people.
Wow.
2,500.
2,500.
Yes.
I think the 2,500 and what are being paid to them is better than the cost we incur in managing the plastic waste.
I accept.
But what do you have to say? Let me hear your submission.
I accept. So on the aspect of that, is weekly labor income is we are going to lose an amount of 3.5 million Ghana cedis weekly labor income. 3.5 million Ghana cedis. But well, out of the point of business, I know you will still come to the point that it is better than the waste, and that's very true because most of the gutters are being choked by because of this thing.
Yes, and this breeds mosquitoes and all that, so we end up pushing our monies into treatment and supporting people who have malaria. So I think 2,000 and plus, it's a little number.
but there's going to be a lot of competition in those paper industry and all those angles that the EP is suggesting that the plastic company should go. So they should equally look at it especially the manufacturing companies of plastic should sit into it and look at it very well. And also we have a lot of plastic. When you go to Circle, a part of Circle is let me say a marketplace for plastics.
Okay.
A part of Circle around at the Braka behind the GCB Bank PLC.
Okay.
There is a market there. What they do is selling of plastics.
Used plastics?
No, the real plastic containers, bowls and everything. Okay. So meaning that if we abandon plastics from the system, all these people are going to lose.
Did they add up to the 2,000 plus?
They will.
They add up. Then it's fine. All right, so I have a couple of messages before you move on. This says that, good morning to you and Mr. Clement. You guys are doing great job. My regards to Yaya and Mimi. Yaya and Mimi, you have fans are saying hello, good morning. They are resting a bit. When they come back, you see the action. So there's another one here. It says, good morning, CLOG TV team. Hope you are having a great start of your day. I'm Frank from Accra. Miss Beaches, you look so beautiful and you're beautier. Okay, thank you for your admiration. Okay, so I want to reach out to report a concerning issue I came across online this morning. So you can contact the numbers we've displayed on the screen and make your complaint. Share the video with us and let's see the authenticity of that video before we put out there. Thank you so very much. We have a message also saying hello. This is from Jurus, if I get that. No, Jungle, sorry. Jungle says hello. Hello, Jungles. Hi. So we are talking about oral. We are talking about the issue of the young boy carrying his brother across the street. You would want send your messages and your comments in relation to that on our numbers displayed on the screen. You can as well send, we are streaming live on YouTube and Facebook, so send your messages there and we'll be glad to read them out for you. Clement, you have anything to say?
I think
our
done.
Time is limited.
Yes. The only thing I would just say that the manufacturing companies for plastic should embrace this call in good faith. I know it won't sound well for them because leaving the sector you've actually worked very hard to a different sector, it's a whole thing. But they should embrace it because we want to make Ghana better for us all to live in. So that's the only thing I would say.
All right. Okay, so that's all we have here on an online print review segment here on the Cocoa Digest Morning Show. Up next is business segment with Peter. Please stay.
from 5 crude oil lifting between July and October from the Jubilee, TEN, and Sankofa Chiame fields. Additionally, corporate taxes from oil companies contributed approximately $144 million, while surface rental fees from Planet One Oil and Gas Limited amounted to $74,000. The Petroleum Holding Fund also generated $3.67 million in accrued interests.
Away from that story, the government has declined 2.9 billion Ghana cedis worth of treasury bill bids following a 40.5% oversubscription in the most recent auction. According to the Bank of Ghana's auction results, the treasury initially sought to raise 7.3 billion Ghana cedis, but ended up accepting 7.7 billion Ghana cedis, slightly surpassing its target. Investors submitted a total bid amounting to 10.6 billion Ghana cedis, with 2.9 billion Ghana cedis being rejected, likely due to the higher than expected interest rates.
One-day bill saw the highest demand, with bids totaling 6.1 billion Ghana cedis, of which 3.9 billion Ghana cedis was accepted. Its yield dropped by 43 basis points to 27.98%. For the 182-day bill, 4.4 billion Ghana cedis was tendered, with 3.8 billion Ghana cedis accepted, and its yield declined by 21 basis points to 28.68%. No 364-day bills were issued during this auction. The bid rejections appear to be part of the government's strategy to avoid costly borrowing and stabilize the yield curve as part of ongoing fiscal consolidation efforts. The rate declines are further supported by easing inflation in January, which maintains investors' real returns. Looking forward, the Treasury aims to raise 8 billion Ghana cedis in the upcoming auction, with strong demand expected to continue.
And in our final story, the Association of Ghana Industries has reiterated its call for the government to prioritize the production of local raw materials to reduce the country's heavy reliance on imports, which continues to burden the economy. The AGI asserts that sourcing local alternatives will help ease pressure on the cedi, as the demand for foreign currency to import raw materials remained a major factor in its depreciation. This move, the association believes, is essential for achieving long-term economic stability and fostering industrial growth. And that's all we have for you on the business segment. My name is Isian Peter. Up next is the lifestyle segment with Edna Yeboah Boatin. Stay
CLOG TV. Beyond the policy.
Segments. I am your host, Edna Yabua Boatin. As we are in the month of love, I have with me here a counseling psychologist who is going to go into details of everything refining love and relationship. Don't forget we are live on Facebook and on YouTube, and also there are WhatsApp numbers displayed on your screens. Do well to send in your comments and let's get interactive. A month of love should be something sweet, something calm. That is why I have a perfect person for you today. We'll be going into details of everything concerning love relationship, most especially this week as it is a Valentine week. Hello, sir. He is in the person of Mr. Godfred Akon Osei, right?
Yes, you got
Good
it.
morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I am so good.
Okay.
How are you?
I'm doing well. This week is Valentine's week. How are you planning to celebrate your Valentine?
Okay, so I intend to take the love of my life out. We spend some quality time together with our kids, and that's the most important thing for me.
No one has asked me to be his vow yet.
Really?
Yes.
Wait, the surprise is coming. Just keep calm, okay?
I'm holding on. All right. So our topic for discussion this morning is redefining love and relationship. But first and foremost, what is love itself and what entails love?
Okay. So love is a strong affection you have for something or someone. It might not necessarily be a person, or you might have a strong interest in something. That feeling you get when you have that strong emotions attached to something is what we refer to as love.
So anyone can love?
Anyone at all can love.
So if I am showing true affection to someone, it means I love the person?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Are there types of love?
Yes.
Can you
we
name
have
some?
the different types of love, and that translates into the various bonds and relationships we form.
Okay.
So for instance, you have a mother, right?
Yes, I do.
There is a special kind of love that exists between
My mother and
kids
I.
and their parents.
Okay.
So that translates into a different type of love.
Okay.
We may have another type of love that exists between yourself and that special someone. How you feel for your dad or your mom will definitely be different for how you feel for this person.
Exactly.
You understand?
Yeah.
We could also have a different type of love that exists between yourself and your colleagues in the office here.
Yeah.
You see? So that also forms a different type of love. We could also have a love that is between you and friends or acquaintances. You may have people in your life that they are not really your friends, they are not your relatives, they are not co-workers, but that acquaintance, you see them and you say, hi, how are you doing? How is your day? That form of relationship do also exist, and that also forms a different type of love.
Okay, so with all the types of love you have mentioned so far, I want us to focus on the romantic type of love. And in so doing, how would you also define romantic relationship? Yeah.
Okay. So romantic relationship is that type of relationship, especially between a male and a female.
Okay.
That involves intimacy.
Right.
That involves intimacy.
Okay. So what are some of the types of relationship that exist? I think I know of a few.
Okay.
Friendly relationship.
Friendly relationship.
Yeah.
We have the family.
Yeah.
We have the platonic relationship. We have the romantic relationship. We have as I explained, the relationship that exists between colleagues at the office. We have acquaintances. These are all different types of relationship we can talk about. So
in so doing, I think the one that I have a feeling for the opposite sex is the romantic relationship.
You may have colleagues, male colleagues in the office.
Yeah.
You may have a feeling for them, but it may not necessarily be romantic. It may be a working relationship.
Right.
But when it comes to feeling that deep sense of belongingness, when you want, there is that, you've gone to the extent of going intimate.
So how would you know that you have this love feeling for someone? Are there some emotions different from the normal feeling I have towards you as we are talking right?
Definitely.
Oh, okay.
As we are here talking, as you are with your colleagues.
Yeah.
You are okay. You feel free expressing yourself. You don't feel withdrawn. You are able to come all out.
Yeah.
But that special person, you are tempted to always look appealing to the person. You always intend to get the person's attention. Whenever you feel somebody else is taking his attention, you feel a bit forsaken or
jealous.
Yes, some jealousy level will be and stuff. You understand? So that inner feeling is there.
Okay, so before someone can be in a romantic relationship or a love relationship, what are some of the needs or procedures one has to take in order to be in that love relationship?
Okay, so day in, day out, we meet people we feel we like or we
Yeah.
feel we are in love with all the time. But before you can move to the extent of going into a relationship with the person, you just have to get to know the person well. You have your values, you have what excites you. Do you find those things in the person? Does the person also find his values and beliefs in you? It's very important. You have to be sure where this person is coming from, looking at the background.
So are you trying to say that once I have a certain feeling towards an opposite sex,
Yes.
and then I'm planning on being in a love relationship with the person, I have to know about all these things you are talking about?
It is very necessary. These are the basic things we overlook that at the end tends to put us in situations we don't like.
But then I love the person, so anything about him, maybe his background, that is preventing us from moving on, I don't care. I love, right now I'm focusing on the love that I have for you.
And you think the love you have for him alone is enough?
It's very big and strong.
Love alone has never been able to sustain a relationship.
I see.
Just because you love the person alone, it won't be able to sustain the relationship. Okay. Being in a relationship or going to the extent of getting married goes far beyond the I love you that we always say.
I see.
Yes.
That brings me up to the question, can love die?
Love.
Yes.
Love dies. And there are so many killers of love. Those are the very things I was trying to explain in the beginning. If you don't pay attention to them and you just focus on the I love you, very soon the love you feel for the person will die.
So looking at the fact that I love my boyfriend because he's sweet, he gives me all the attention, he gives me gifts on a daily basis. When it gets to a certain point in our love life and those things are not there anymore, do you think that what I have for him will reduce, or in as much as we have gotten to some standard, I do not have to feel like, oh, maybe this person doesn't love me anymore because the attention has really reduced. Now, if he calls me just 2 minutes, oh, I'm very busy, I'll call you back, and doesn't call back again. When it gets to this situation, should I still hold on, or you think that since the love is no more, I should just forget about it and move on?
Okay, so that's the more reason why in every relationship you need to be very matured and keep an open communication.
Well, you know how love is, honestly. Sometimes you fall in love and you forget about everything. Like, you can't even use your head to think about certain things. You just feel like you are in love.
Yes. At the very initial stages, that is how we feel when we are in love.
What about the honeymoon stages?
Those butterflies all around, we feel all attached to each other.
Yeah.
But with time, all those things will begin to dissipate with time. As you rightly said, it will get to a point that he may have to attend to some other things other than you.
That's his priority.
Not because
I do not have to come first anymore.
Not because he doesn't want to put you first, but it has become necessary that he has to. Maybe work schedules have changed. He has to put extra time in the work.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't explain to you for you to understand that, no, it's not because I don't love you any longer. It's because work has taken much of my time. You may be tempted that because he was showering you with all the attention and the time at the very initial stages, he is gradually drawing away from you. So you need to keep an open communication relationship. You talk about everything, and you don't, whatever it is you are doing, go with your partner. Draw your partner along with you.
So when it gets to this situation, how do you think we can revive this love that I feel is almost ending?
Okay. Initially, you quality time.
Yeah.
And this time, work has taken a lot of his time away.
Yes.
It doesn't mean he doesn't have time at all for you. The little time that he has and spent with you, make it quality time. It is not that 10, 20 minutes that you know this guy has now, okay, he's always at work, but he's always free between, let's say, 1 and 2. So that's 1 and 2, just 1 hour. What do you do with the time? That is not the time to complain. That's not when the time to go and then you don't spend time with me anymore. Now you've left me. No, make that time quality. It doesn't matter how long you spend together. Even if it is 5 minutes and you spend quality time to make it interesting. You may always want to find avenues to create such opportunities for yourself. But if it's always a quarrel and argumentative, a question and answer session in the little time that we have, it's not worth spending.
So, come to that. Do you think each and every partner should know your love language and know how to deal with it? Because let's say mine is quality time.
Okay.
In as much as you are busy, take 30 seconds of your busy schedules and call me. Oh, babe, I am very busy, but I've not forgotten about you. I will call you when I am less busy. Some do not do that. You are here seated talking about love and everything, and then our men are not doing what you are saying. Honestly, I wouldn't have complained about it, but I get comments about them. Yeah, sure, no, you're very sweet. Now, so they say, my friend, the crow, catch him say, me harding. What you are saying? So these things are coming up, and then it feels.
And you think it's the only women who are complaining?
I mean, we are there. You should pamper us. You should be taking care of us. You should be giving us those nice, sweet words that you brought in at first.
So,
you get me?
That's the very you must pay attention to in a relationship. Know yourself. I am very happy you've able to identify yourself as you enjoy quality time.
Yeah.
It's not every guy who will give you quality time. Depending on who the person is, his personality, his traits, everything.
Yeah.
A sanguine, if you are fortunate to meet a sanguine is a free-going type. A sanguine will make you feel on top of the world. He will make you feel happy. He is always around you. Whenever he is not around you, you may feel bored.
Yeah.
But what really it is that sanguines do not really mean what time they spend with you or whatever they tell you. They just want you to feel happy.
They just want to be around you.
Yes, that's their nature. If you're looking at a real choleric man, a choleric man feels that spending unnecessary time with you, taking you to the movies, is a waste of time.
Wow.
That is how their personality feels. So instead of spending time with you, he will feel to do something meaningful with that time. When he has enough money to give you, he expects that you should be okay because he's taking care of you.
So someone like this, I don't think I can bond with him.
You see?
Yes.
So if you are not able to identify all these things at the very initial stages, and you just go loud because I love him.
Then there's a lot of work in this level.
So much.
Because how will I get my match, my perfect match? I have to take all this into consideration.
You have to be very mindful of who you want to get into.
Can't I change someone because the person loves me and then the person is willing to do what I want for him or her?
So if I got you right, you would change the person you are in the relationship with for someone else. Yes, that normally happens. If this is what I want and I am not getting it from you, definitely someone might have those qualities I would want. But it wouldn't otherwise. It's not always right to pick someone. Later you get to know that he doesn't have the qualities I wanted, so let me just move.
Then you'll be moving on.
You'll just be moving on and on and on. Okay. But if you do your background checks well from the very initial stages, if you are able to do your background checks well, you may find a good man. Wow. Definitely in the relationship, hard times will come. Yes. Things are not always rosy.
Yes.
Times will change, but whatever it is, if he has those things you really need, they are able to conquer your
love should be enjoyable.
So sweet.
I can tell. Everything about you is saying that you are really in love.
Hey, you can see it.
I can. So let's move on to our generation, we the Gen Zs.
Okay.
Right now, everything about relationship we learn from social media. You even get a boyfriend, you'll be streaking, you'll be vlogging, and everyone knows about your relationship. Can you say that on social media, love works or it doesn't work on social media? Me bringing my boyfriend on social media, is it okay?
Okay.
You get me?
I find it so interesting how we fall in love, especially these days. It's so interesting when I speak with people and I met her on social media. She was in my DM saying I was nice and she wanted me for herself. She would treat me well. And I also went into her DM. I saw her profile pictures and she was looking all good and stuff. And a relationship has started already.
Is it bad? It is not.
I wouldn't say it is bad. Social media always gives us an avenue to meet new people.
Exactly.
On social media, get to know the person in real life.
So you are trying to say that we should be in a talking stage.
You could be talking to the person on social media, but I am telling you, it is not everything that you get to know about the person if you decide to focus only on the social media. There is a lot of our lives that we don't display on social media. And you know, right?
I know.
We only display those parts of our lives we want everybody to see.
But in a love relationship,
Okay.
I feel like if you are not too close to your partner, there may be certain things you wouldn't even know about him till you guys get married.
Even in the
Marriage
physical world.
itself.
Not the social media, in the physical world.
Yeah.
When you live like 2 towns away from each other,
Yeah.
there are so many things you might not know. Even if you are sharing the same room,
Yeah.
there are so many things you might not know. It will take time, but make a conscious get to know who you are getting yourself into it. It is very important.
So I'm trying to say that social media isn't a perfect place to find
Social
love.
media, as I earlier indicated, it's a good platform to meet new people. So many people have found love on social media and it has worked.
Yeah.
Yes. But I would only say that even if you meet the person on social media, go the extra mile to get to know the person well.
But nowadays, everything happens too fast.
When you go into a relationship, especially what we call marriage,
Yeah.
if you are getting into marriage, it shouldn't happen so fast.
It takes time.
You should take your time, get to know the person, and make the right decisions about the person.
Everything happens so fast, and sometimes you feel like you've gotten your perfect match because there are 1 or 2 things the person clicks with you with. So looking at this, I think that we have a lot to say about this love and relationship, because if we are just jumping into relationships, then every time our hearts will be broken.
I have this social media friend.
Okay.
His wife is very beautiful, and one day he just came up that he wanted to divorce the wife. And everybody, it's like a good platform. Everybody was like, oh no, why would you do that? Your wife is beautiful, she's looking all good all the time. She is that. And this guy asked just one question. That silenced the whole group for a very long time.
Okay.
The question is, have you stayed with her over a weekend before?
Should I stay with my boyfriend over the weekend?
It's just a question he asked. This one, they are not in a relationship, they are married.
Oh, okay.
So he was asking, that woman you see and you are showering all the praise on, she is beautiful, she is calm, she is this, she is that. Have you been with her for a weekend before? And nobody could answer. So it's not all about the looks and what we see. There is so much that we do not see physically.
Yeah, right.
Some people are coming from very toxic relationships and they are coming with different kind of mindset and everything, you have to understand and be sure if you'll be able to cope with all these things before you finally decide to go into the relationship.
And I think before moving from a toxic, you should be healed.
Very important.
Yes, you should.
So many people see a next relationship as a means of getting healed.
Well, I've done it before because looking at it, my past relationship and everything about it was so bad.
Okay.
And right now I am single. It keeps reminding me, oh, should I go back? Should I go back? Maybe this time around he will change. Okay. So if I won't go back, I should
you are contemplating between going back to your toxic relationship
to find comfort and companionship. You know, there are certain things that
it is very difficult to go into a relationship with the perception that he will change. If he is not that man you really want to be with, don't assume he will change. Who he has been for the past 25, 30 years before you met him, you don't expect him to change for you.
This is a lot. Well, let me read a few comments here.
That's okay.
There's this house in Dansuman, and he says, I am really enjoying this conversation, and I think it's the right time to have this discussion because people have different mindsets, and I'm glad the counselor is really explaining to our basic understanding. We are doing so.
Sure.
There's another one from David in Oyarifa. He says, how do I get to know the love language of my partner? You know, we have five or so
of them.
So do you think the initial stages in relationship we should ask?
Unfortunately, so many people we go out with don't even know what makes them happy. They don't know their love language.
I've gotten mine. I know mine is quality time. What's yours?
Mine is gift.
With the way you're thinking, I think you don't know yours.
No. I don't really place emphasis on a love language.
Okay.
So
yours being the gifts, you would want your partner to be gifting you more often.
Not necessarily buying anything big for me. You're coming back from town and you just decide to buy plantain chips for me.
Oh.
You shouldn't always concentrate on.
So you'll be having butterflies in your tummy.
You come and you just throw a pack of Chocomilo and it's nice.
So at what point did you notice your partner's love language?
Okay, I had to just effort to know. So out of the 5, I tried them on her to be able to tell which one would really excite her.
I see.
Yes, she would always want you to affirm to her that despite what happens, irrespective of the situation, I will still be there for you. She just wanted that assurance that you are not leaving her, you will always be there for her. That's words of affirmation. I will always love you. Yes, I might be, you know, I've got you always.
Oh, that's so sweet. We know we ladies like to be pampered a lot, and especially when she's going through certain things, she wants you to be involved in it. Just show some care. That's not too much to ask for, but amen. Please, I hope you guys are listening. Do well. All right, so this is the last comment I have from Kweku.
And you are in for doom, because he or she would always want to be sure you are alone. Are you sure you are always? He or she would always want to be sure you are alone. Are you sure you are alone? Let's do video call. Turn it and let me see who is in the kitchen. It becomes so stressful at times, and it's not always ideal to be in a relationship that only exists online. We are human. There are times that you would need you would need to have the person with you
physically.
Yes, physically. There are times you need those times that you would want to spend with the person online. The person might not always be available, but we should try and make conscious effort. I'm not saying long distance relationships are not good. They are fine.
And do you think it makes one insecure?
A lot of
Insecurity.
Yes, because of how relationships have become today.
Okay.
So many long distance relationships don't have has not passed the loyalty test. Let me put it that way.
In this modern whereby many people want to have couple relationships, yes. Like hardly will you find a man single of late. You see that they are in a talking stage with Ahmad, they are is his girlfriend and Mame is his wife. Like it's a whole lot.
I see.
Yeah, so looking at it, I think people have to be loyal when it comes to love. Or
the word loyalty,
yeah,
is gradually getting extinct in our system now, especially in relationships. People have found so many reasons not to be loyal or faithful in their relationships. They find so many excuses to just play around. It is a virtue we are gradually losing in relationships and marriages. It's not right.
I hear. So loyalty is a very big word. And I feel like if you are considering to be in a love relationship, just be free. Just come truthful. Don't stress someone's daughter or son. Right?
I thought the son wasn't coming.
Right now, I'm considering to because love is between two people, and it should be enjoyable. It shouldn't be hurtful
at all.
Yeah. So
if we say it shouldn't be hurtful, then it can't be love. Love always comes with some form of hurt. The very, very little things.
So do you think that in any point in our life when I am in a love relationship with my partner, should I consider therapy when things are not going too well? Like see a counselor or something?
So I always talk to people I come across that it is one thing, Ghana and Africa, let me say, we are not making a priority. We are trained up to be strong. You have to be strong yourself. You just have to be able to fight your battles alone. No need to run to when you have issues and you seek advice from mommy or daddy. You are becoming a daddy's boy, daddy's like those things. So we would want to fight our battles on our own. In the end, we end up making so many mistakes. I would advise anybody to seek advice when the need be. For instance, we are here, the two of us are here.
Yeah.
If you just step out and see one of your colleagues shivering with headaches, you would definitely advise the person to go see the medical doctor, right?
Exactly.
But we don't do same when the person is physically well, but emotionally or psychologically unfit.
Can I resort to my friend for relationship advice?
It depends on your friend.
Okay.
Bear in mind, a friend today may be somebody else tomorrow. So I have a couple of friends, and when I have issues I want to talk to people about, I know which one of them I will talk to. If it's about money, I know which one of my friends I will talk to. If it's about relationship, I know which one of my friends I will talk to. You should have same.
Sure.
It is not everything you should talk to your friends about. I do see on people's status a screenshot of a conversation. Like you are having a conversation with the person will just screenshot and post on the person's status.
And put in a short comment.
Yes. You understand?
Yes, I
So
do.
you need to be very mindful of who you talk to.
Right.
Make sure the person is trustworthy enough, then you can talk to the person. But definitely when you are going through so much, talk to somebody.
So since we need to be mindful of who we talk to and what we talk to the person about, how do you see the future of relationships on social media?
So just about last week, a group of counselors were having a conversation and this same issue came up. The kind of content that is being spread on social media today, sometimes very horrifying.
And misleading.
So many people are now preaching that if a relationship is not working, the easiest way to go about it is just to walk out.
If it's not all rosy.
If it is not what you expected, just walk out of the relationship.
And the fact that every relationship on social media is so nice, so perfect, looking at it as if they've never fought.
The aspect of our lives we want the whole world to see, that is the only thing we put on social media. That time he is on your truth, you wouldn't capture yes and come and put those ones there. So we always see the fun and the nice part of it when they are in a car and he has his legs on his thighs and they are, yes, those ones you see.
Okay.
But when they are back home and they are having issues on who to clean the floor, who should do the laundry, when they are having those issues, we don't get to see.
Right.
Relationships are very hard. And social media, let's subscribe to positive content. We need to fight for relationships. We don't always have to give up on relationships, as it is being preached on social media.
Okay.
If he's supposed to take care of you, if he's not taking care of you, move on. Find someone who will be able to take care. That is what we preach.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that. If that is the kind of relationship you want, you end up moving from relationship to relationship, because in every relationship, you will find something missing in the relationship.
There is more we have to talk about this in relationship. There are lots in details about relationship and love.
There is so much we need to learn before and when we are in the relationship itself.
Wow. So what are your last words on people in relationship getting ready to marry or having a strong relationship?
Okay. So if you are a young man or a young woman who is getting ready to get into a relationship or marry, I would say that just be careful who you are putting your lifeline on for. It's not always what you see physically. Make sure you get to know the person well. Make sure the person is matured enough for the relationship you are getting yourself into. If you are already in a relationship, make sure you hold your partner's hands and grow together. That is what I would tell people who are already in relationship or in marriages. Grow together. If it becomes the other way around, if you are always concentrated on yourself, you go up there and your partner is down there, it becomes very difficult to keep the relationship.
Grow together.
So try as much as possible to grow together. And hey, we're in the month of love. Show somebody some love. You don't need to be in a relationship or anything to show some love. I didn't know I would have brought you some chocolate, but I was thinking you get enough of the chocolate on.
As it stands now, I am not sure I'm going to be anyone's vow.
Oh, I don't believe you. They are watching you. They will start conversations in your DM right now.
I would have been the happiest to have been someone's vow, but then anyway, thanks for having you. And as Counselor said, we should grow together with our loved one. Do not leave the person behind. Do not think that the person isn't matured. Just get someone that is matured and you flow with the person perfectly. That's all I have for you on today's segment, lifestyle segment. Up next is the birthday segment.
I heard today was your birthday. I heard today was your birthday. Today was your birthday.
Welcome to the birthday segment. I have here with me a birthday from Nana to Ohima Tebua, and it says, "Happy birthday, dear. May God bless your dreams and aspirations in life." Nana to Ohima Tebua. Happy birthday, dear. May God bless your dreams and aspirations in life. This is from Nanama, and it says, "Happy birthday, Nanama. no, this is to Nanama, and it says, "Happy birthday, Nanama. You are a truly amazing, caring, and lovely friend, and I'm so grateful to have you in my life. May this special day bring you all the happiness, love, and blessing you deserve. Wishing you joy, success, and endless laughter today. From love." This one is also from Prof. Oso, and he says, "Happy birthday to you, own Hebrew boy. Very soon, Doctor. Higher heights, excellence, and growth in every aspect of your life. God keep you." To Mr. Adi Prince. And that's all I have for you on today's birthday segment. Up next is the main segment with Beatrice Bampo Ado. Stay tuned.
CLOG TV. Beyond the policy. CLOG TV. Beyond the policy.
That was Keep Ghana Clean by Flower Boy. You're welcome to the main segment here on Cocoa Digest Morning Show. Today we are talking about sanitation and its management in Accra. And we have a well-vested resource person here with me in the studio. She is in the person of Lawrence Kuchi, the public health director of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. You are welcome.
Thank you, Wendy.
Thanks so much for coming in again.
Sure. And thank you for having me.
Last 2 weeks, right? You were here last 2 weeks.
Sure.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
This is home.
Yeah.
So let's start. I was digging into your profile and I realized that 2024 was a great year for you.
Sure.
You bagged home some awards.
Yes.
In relation to sanitation.
Yes.
How's the journey been? Just tell us.
In fact, the journey of me being into the sanitation sector started some 22 years ago. Yes.
Wow.
When, let me say 30 years ago, when I was in SHS, in a class, a colleague, initially I said I wanted to be a lawyer. But it means there's something that God is telling me about this school. So forms were bought for me, nursing training form, and lo and behold, School of Hygiene form.
Wow.
So when I looked through the two forms, I discarded the nursing training form and I filled the School of Hygiene form and I was admitted into Tamale School of Hygiene. And that was my journey. That was when my journey into sanitation began.
Interesting.
So I graduated in 2002 from Tamale School of Hygiene, and then I was posted. My first posting was in Greater Accra here. I worked in the hospital as environmental health officer at Kaneshi Polyclinic.
Okay.
So being in the hospital, we did health promotion, we took care of the hospital sanitation and hygiene and all that. Then I just didn't want to be at one place. Then from there, I asked for reposting. And I was reposted out of the hospital, now into the field itself. So that where I went to taste how it is to be a sama-sama, how it is to be a tankasi, how I can come and counsel people in their homes, in their communities, at their working places, making sure that they live within clean environment, they drink clean water, they breathe clean air, they live in a serene, devoid of noise environment so that they can be healthy.
Oh.
Yes.
So can you say it's a calling?
It's a call, yes. To me, I always see it to be a call. Because had it not been a call, I think after some time, I've left the system. There were a lot of juicy things that were
opportunities
that were pointed at me. But I just said no. It seems God wants me to do something in this field, and I think I need to be here. And with the help of God, I will be able to change lives of people, because the environmental officer is the only person who moves to the client's home to tell him or her to live in a healthy environment. Our clients don't come to us, we go to them. Environmental officer is a preventive officer, and every preventive officer is a very key to city development or to country development, because if you go to educate your people on preventable disease like cholera, typhoid, malaria, and other things, all these things are preventable diseases. They are things we use our own hands to give to ourselves. Why do I say that? Because if we leave our environment uncleared and it's very weedy, and then we leave a lot of water, stagnation of water, they will breed mosquitoes.
Okay, so are you saying all these contributed
Yes.
to who you are
Yes,
today?
all these contributed to whom I am
think you are
today.
ignoring the award bit. I
So
want you
I'm
to
still coming.
emphasize
I'm
on
still
that.
coming there.
Okay.
So last year, I was there when I had a call that I have been nominated by the African Sustainable Development Award. I thought it was just a one award. But when I got to the program that day, in fact, I wept. It was not just one award, but I was given the Female of the Year award. I was given the Public Service award. Wow. And I was given the overall Best Performance award.
Wow.
And sustainable development, in my field of work, I am working to achieve Sustainable Development Goal 6, which is sanitation and water for all by the year 2030.
Wow. That's interesting.
Sure.
There.
Yeah.
I love your story and how you've grown up. Who would I say is a public health officer?
Okay, so public health officer is a branch of, let me say, environmental officer is a branch of public health. So public health is open. Okay. It is either preventive or curative.
Okay.
But if you are in the curative aspect, we are all working for public health. So talking about health, we can have 3 segments of health. Okay. We have the animal health, we have the human health, and we have the environmental health. But the environmental health is the pivotal because the environment, the terrestrial environment, and aquatic environment, it's where all living organism lives within. And if these 2 environments are not clean, anything that living within the environment will be at a risk. So it is the duty of the public health officer, that is the environmental health officer or the preventive officer, to ensure that the aquatic environment and the terrestrial environment is clean, so that living organisms that are within this environment will be healthy, and so that they can go about their daily activities that will lead to development of wherever they find themselves.
All right, so with you letting us know what the environmental officer is and what the public health officer is, can you tell me about sanitation, our main topic of today?
Okay, so sanitation is just simply put, is the provision of proper services that we use to, services that lead to the disposal of human or unwanted waste, that is liquid and solid waste.
Liquid and solid waste.
So talking about liquid and solid waste is just, I call it wealth in transit.
You mean the plastic waste?
It is every solid waste. It's an unwanted material that you don't need is a waste.
Okay.
Anything that man doesn't need, that thing is supposed to be disposed of, is waste. It can be food, it can be clothing, it can be your hair, it can be your shoe, it can be your knuckles, it can be plastic waste, it can be food waste, it can be animal waste. Anything that is no more in use, is no value to the user, becomes waste. So even human beings, when we die, we become waste. Yes, and it is the environmental officer who sees to it that people who become waste through a communicable disease outbreak, through infectious diseases, they give them dignified and safe burial to prevent anybody being contaminated through that.
Wow.
Then talking about the liquid waste, we talk about urine, we talk about grey water, we talk about runoff water, and all those.
What's the difference between the grey water and the runoff
water? So runoff water is when it rains.
Okay.
The water that comes down, or the wastewater that we produce in our homes, we wash dishes and all that, these are wastewater. Okay. Grey water is water that comes out from our septic tanks, that is mixed with human excreta.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So these are the liquid waste.
Sure. These are the liquid waste. And you know, God made liquid and solid.
Yes.
You cannot go to pool without urinating. That is why you can also go to toilet without flushing. So you need water to take care of the excreta that you brings out. So water and sanitation goes together.
Wow.
Yes.
Interesting. So let's do some test here. When you look at Ghana on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you rate our sanitation?
Let me be frank with you. Sanitation is not just about the waste we see around. A lot of things goes into sanitation. If you want to talk about good sanitation, you must first of all talk about infrastructure. Talk about resources like logistics that you use to handle the waste. Talk about funding. Talk about governance. Talk about human resources. All these things come together for you to have a good sanitation.
Okay.
So if I want to rate our sanitation in Ghana, I would say we are within, you said from 1 to 10?
Yes.
We are 5.
We are 5
Yes,
in Ghana.
in Ghana. We are 5 in Ghana, being that, 1, I cannot give more than 5, though I am in the sector, I'm working, but there are some still things that need to be put in place for us to move ahead. 1, in the country, we don't have an engineered landfill site.
You mentioned that in the first discussion.
Yes. If you don't have an engineered landfill site, when you collect the solid waste, where do you send it to? So, and then we know that engineered landfill site of late, the lands are becoming scarce. So all other countries are moving into what we call the circular economy. That is, you produce, you recycle, and then you reuse.
Okay.
So we have the RRR, the 3 R's.
Okay.
So if you move into the circular economy, it means the waste that we see going waste is no waste. We have to separate the waste. That is what we call waste segregation.
Okay.
You separate the waste into like terms. You put organic into organic, inorganic into inorganic. Maybe plastic is an inorganic. One can also sub-segregate it. You can use plastic and then it will come out to be something. Some of these things are recyclable materials.
Okay.
What we are seeing here, they are recyclable materials. So it was waste. It gone into a production and a process and come out to be a new item that we are using. When it becomes a waste, it will go back again and then come back into a new item.
Okay.
Then paper. We can use the paper to produce other furniture and other things that we can use. Then maybe, let me say, the organic material, those that can get rotten, we put them into coming out with organic manure.
We mix them with the soil.
Them with the soil, we get the organic manure, then we use them back into gardening. We are saying Operation Feed Yourself. We are saying Operation Own a Garden in Your House.
Green Ghana
and all these things. So we need this to use it. Then the little one that will be left, that we don't have to burn it, because burning of refuse is an offense.
In Ghana?
In Ghana. It is in our laws. It's an offense.
Okay.
So the little that will be left, then we can channel it to an engineered landfill site. When you go to an engineered landfill site, at the end of the day, you don't have to see any leftover waste flying anywhere. At the end of the day, every waste that has been sent to the engineered landfill site might be capped so that the place will be clean, waiting for the next day. But because we don't have the engineered landfill site, we are using, what will I say?
Never in Ghana. We don't have any of this.
We used to have an engineered landfill site at Pong.
Okay.
Yes, but it has been decommissioned.
Okay.
So now, even the distance of carrying waste from the Accra metropolis to the final disposal site, now let me just use final disposal site. It's not an engineer site. It is just a managed disposal site.
Okay.
It is all the way at Insumia, which is in the eastern region, about 80 kilometers from the city center.
Wow.
Look at the traffic going in and out from there. And if you don't have enough compact tracks, how many times can you go there and come back? Mind you, Accra Metropolitan Assembly has become a dumping site. People live in the outskirts of the city, but they run their business in the city. As early as 2 a.m., people have already done dumping their waste and they have gone back. The little resource that the assembly has is what the assembly is using to manage the waste. Now we say we should bring in the private operators to help manage the waste, which is what we are doing now. It's 80-20. The assembly manages 20% of the waste while the private sector manages the 80%. But the private sector alone cannot do it. Let me just cite this example. When you want to cram down crime, you fall on the police officers. Though there are private security officers, you don't fall on the private security officers. You fall on the police because they are the technocrats. So environmental health officers are technocrats when it's come to cramming down indiscriminate waste sanitation in the city. Have you ever heard anywhere people mentioning environmental health officers' name?
No.
So if you have your environmental health officers who are supposed to ensure that the city is clean, and then you have relegated them to the back, you cannot use only the private sector players to work on it. When it comes to enforcement, you need the environmental officer to send somebody to court to ensure that they do the right thing. Even the private waste sector player, there are some of them, they go into contract with people. I will come to pick your waste every week or every 3 days. But to get to 2-3 weeks, they've not come. And you get to the place, the whole area is with waste. You can't take action against them because it is not their fault. Neither can you, but because you don't have that backing, an environmental officer will go and take action. Let me say a waste collection company. You will not move ABC and you will be called to drop the case. You understand? So we need empowerment. The government needs to empower the environmental health officer. We need to be visible. When you go to every country, environmental officers are visible. They are part of the development ladder. Because if the country is dirty, you are likely to run down in tourism. Because nobody wants to go to a place that is dirty.
Investment.
No investment will be low. Economic development will come down. So the environmental officer is key in the country development. Not until the environmental officer is seen, not until they remember the environmental health officer. There are a lot of things the environmental officer does in the system, but nobody sees. We are not resource.
Okay.
Formerly, people used to see environmental officers when we were not born. The tankers people, you see the person coming in the uniform. I am coming here. If anybody sees me, they wouldn't know that I am a Sama person because I am not clothed.
So what happened to your uniform?
So that is it. Every person that is a uniform officer, the government give them uniform allowances for them to ensure that they get their uniforms for visibility, because uniform leads to compliance. When somebody is doing something wrong and see a uniform person coming, they stop. But if somebody is doing something and the environmental officer is coming, even in front of you, the person will, because the person doesn't know you. The environmental officer is not giving uniform allowances. If you see an environmental officer wearing a uniform, the person bought the uniform by him or herself. You understand? When you go to some assemblies, the environmental officer don't even have proper office structure to sit inside. How can you work when you are not happy? You understand?
Yes.
I am not lamenting. Though all these things are there, we are still working. But what we want the government to see, to identify us. At least in the country, all other agencies have an act that are establishing them. Yes, we also have laws that are establishing us, but we need a law. For instance, maybe Environmental Health Act or Environmental and Sanitation Regulatory Act. That act will give us our rules and regulations. It will give us our mandate, what to do, what not to do You understand? It will give, through that, we will get what we call the Environmental and Sanitation Authority. When you get the Environmental and Sanitation Authority, that authority is going to sit and ensure that anybody that is producing plastic that has become menace pass through that authority, and regulation will be proper. But because we don't have that authority, regulation is becoming, let me say, in silos. You see these people doing this, these people doing this, these people doing that.
There's no unison.
There's no unison. There's no coordination.
Yeah.
When this person is lucky to get their act, they will go and pick a part of it and put it in their act. This will pick a part of it and put it in their act. So regulatory framework is something that is supposed to be done in the country, so that sanitation issues will be unison, will come together, so that one body will ensure that this is what we are doing.
Wow. I remember the town council people way back then.
Yes.
Then if someone gives you alert that they are coming, you end up covering your rubbish bins and all that. I think we miss that.
That is what I'm talking. When somebody tell you that, gone were the days we were living in open environment. But now people are living in closed environment. Open environment in the sense that we used to see our neighbors doing everything in common. So when the someone is coming, or the town council person is coming wearing their khaki and white, one person will see that they are coming, then they'll run and go and tell. Today, if I'm coming with my bag, I'm coming to you, I'll come and arrest you, but you wouldn't know I am. And until I get you and introduce myself to you, you wouldn't know. So that is why I said uniform leads to compliance. So the uniform bit is missing. The government should see to it that it is necessary. You understand? Bringing it back. And not just only the uniform, but resourcing. Let me say, environmental officers, we can walk about 20 kilometers a day.
Wow.
Yes, because initially I told you we go to our clients. We do house-to-house inspection. We do hospitality inspection, corporate inspection. Every premises that is in the surface of this country, environmental officer is supposed to enter there to ensure hygiene, sanitation, and compliance. That people that are going into, or whatever that is coming out from that premises, is not going to have any injurious or any kind of risks to the health of the public. But you do all these things, you don't even have a mobile, a mobility, let me say, a mobility to move you around. You are supposed to see to it that people who are burning refuse around are limited. Now, we are lucky there is this a fund that has come. We call it the Breathe Accra. It's a project funded by the Clean Air Fund. Accra Metropolitan Assembly, let me say Accra Metropolis, the 10 Accra Metropolis are all part of this. Sensors have been mounted at some vantage points for us to be monitoring.
When did this start?
Oh, this started somewhere 2023.
Wow.
So I sit in the office, I monitor, let me say I go to the app, then I check Agbogbloshie market. Then I see that the air ambience there is very polluted. What could be causing it at that time? It's my duty to move to the vicinity to find out what is happening. If I am mobile, I will get there early to go and see what is happening. But if I am not mobile, this is the time I have to come out to look for either a motorbike or a taxi transport to take me to the place. Before I get there, whoever is causing the mess is done and left. You only go and meet the mess there. How do you handle it? So mobility is very important when it's come to handling sanitation and hygiene issues in this country. But the environmental officer is being left out. Before you see an environmental officer maybe moving with a vehicle, it could be a project that has brought that vehicle. And maybe the assembly that the officer find him or herself are lenient that they give that vehicle to the officer. You see, when in the early days we were with the Ministry of Health, things were going very well. Then when we became decentralized, so decentralization means we need to get down to the people. And environmental health officers are everywhere. So we were brought to the Ministry of Local Government to be there. We were supposed to be there all agencies were supposed to decentralize, but others did not decentralize. So when you take the Local Governance Act, you see the organogram of all departments there. We were supposed to be there with the health, the Ghana Health Services, but because they did not decentralize, we came to the local government service. So when we got there, instead of making the environmental health a department, it is still a unit under a non-decentralized department. We are with the local government, and then we are a unit under Ghana Health Services. Meanwhile, we are not with Ministry of Health. So how can we work? Who will monitor who?
See,
you understand? So structural defect is another thing that is disturbing the sanitation issues in the country. At the district assembly level, if you are not a department, you don't have budget. Your budget is with the central administration, and with the central administration, it's a pool. Everybody is picking. Priority is given to what they deem fit. If your activities are not physical activities, sometimes priority is not given to it. But mostly we forget that the non-physical activities even lead to a lot of loss rates. Why do I say so? Because if I am an environmental officer, the work I do is not something physical. I go to educate people. I ensure that people don't throw waste indiscriminately. People protect their food. Food safety is something that the officer ensures that it is done properly. So all these things, if the people come to listen and they go by it, monies that are going to use to cure diseases, it will be channeled into developmental issues.
Exactly.
And that is why you see it physically. So if the people are healthy, they will work and there will be progression. But if the people are not healthy, the monies that we are using for development will be channeled into treatment, and then there will be pressure on our health facilities. But most of the times, we don't always try to quantify the work that we do in monetary terms. So what we mostly say, we are always advocating is that at least the environmental health should be made a department, so that we will have a budget with the government of Ghana. So when you budget, this is the budget that is going to the department, and to help the department to structure itself and then work properly. And then the sanitation issues that we are looking around in the city will be a thing of the past.
Wow, so these are the reasons why you gave Ghana five out of the 10.
Yes, because the officers that are supposed to ensure that we get the clean environment are being neglected. And when you neglect a key player, whatever the person is supposed to do will not go forward. It will not be successful.
That's interesting there. And I'm curious to ask, you mentioned earlier that there are plastic waste, there are other types of waste we can use to help the environment as well. There are other countries, African countries, who have this sanitation culture, and it looks better than that of Ghana. We know what we are doing wrong and they are doing right. What can we do when we compare other African countries to ours?
So that is why I'm saying, you see, any country that progress in sanitation issues, they see the technocrats of the sanitation environment as a key. Whatever they are doing, they plan with them. They do everything with them. When you go to, what will I say, Kigali. Kigali is something we mostly use.
Rwanda.
Yes, but Rwanda came to learn from us.
Okay.
And they went back and they are doing better. They are making sure that they resource their environmental health officers. Priority is being given to them. When somebody is doing something wrong, an officer sends the person to court. Nobody asks you to stop. You understand? But when you come to our part, somebody knows someone who knows someone. Because the environmental officers are working directly with the local governance system. You know, that is where we have our assembly members, have the MCs and all those things. So somebody knows somebody. When you go to take an action, definitely somebody will go to tell someone. And if your boss asks you, oh, you've taken an action against this person, please leave the person. In a good manner, you may leave the person, but the person you are leaving may think that he or she has overpowered you and will not even give you the ear to go there to work. So what I am saying is there should be empowerment of the environmental officers to do our work and do it properly. If I am sending somebody to court because the person has done something wrong, the officer should be allowed to send the person to court, so that at the end of the day, what the person has done will not have an effect to somebody who is sitting somewhere. For instance, it is raining, somebody has gone to dispose of waste in the drain, and we all know what it will do. It will block, then it will lead to flooding. Flooding will lead to disaster, and disaster will lead to death, just for the one action of somebody. So if the officers are mobile, we can move around during the rainy season to see what is happening in town. Most of the time we rely on the media. You'll be there, then they will take a video and post it. Then we use that to lay our surveillance, and the people are arrested and put to book.
All right, so well noted there. One other thing those countries are doing better than us is, I think, there is a ban on plastic waste, and which the Environmental Protection Agency in an announcement just this week have promised that soon to come there will be a ban on the plastic waste in Ghana. Do you think this is a call in the right direction?
This is a very good call in the right direction, because we've been advocating for the ban on plastic waste for a long time. Now, when you go to our marine sectors, let me say the aquatic environment, it's full of what? Plastic. When it rains, everywhere is full of plastic. So if the plastic waste is being banned, I think it's going to help us. We go back to the organic materials. Come with the days when we're not using plastic, we were living, you understand? Even after banning or whatever it is, I think it's good for us to even have some contract with people who produce plastic, single-use rubber. Maybe when you go to other countries, they do it. If you collect this number of bottles and you bring it, you will get this. It makes people, it incentivizes people to do that. But here, when you collect it, where are you sending it to? So we need buyback centers in the various assemblies, so that when people know that if I go to collect this number of plastic, because when you ban it, it is not that immediately you ban it, the plastic is going to disappear from the surface of the earth. The plastic will still be on the earth until we start seeing the result. So when we get buyback centers at the various district assemblies, so that when people go to collect these plastics that we are dying with, they will send it there to go and get some form of money out of it. It's able to do it properly, then we will not be seeing this plastic on the face of the environment that we are seeing. Now, when you go to town, you won't see card boxes, because card boxes has become hot cake. People are buying. So everybody is looking for cardboards to go and sell and get money. So we need to identify where the opportunities are, and then we build on those places.
All right, we'll take a quick break, but before we do that, we have a comment here. It says, good morning, please. I really support what Madam Florence is saying. I'm a student of Accra School of Hygiene, and we learn a lot about sanitation, but we are even identified as student, no allowance, nothing is very worrying. I plead with, and this is very worrying, I think he wanted to say, I plead with the government to recognize us. Thank you. So people have recognized at least the work you are doing, and I think this is a good thing to do. When we come back, we will be talking about open defecation and the causes it's having and the effect it's having on the environment. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back.
CLOG TV, Beyond the Policy.
don't know. Why do people choose that alternative? Why do people do that?
It's a critical question that you have asked. Open defecation is something that everybody frowns at. Every living thing frowns at open defecation because it has an impact on everybody. Some time ago, it was the early 20s.
Okay.
A law was passed that every household should have a toilet facility.
Okay.
Especially it was in the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. In our bylaws, every household must have a toilet facility. If you don't have a toilet facility, it's an offense. When you are building your house, in the building permit, there's supposed to be a toilet facility in the permit before the permit will be approved. We make sure that we follow out, we do the inspection, ensure that it is done. So when you come to toilet coverage in the Greater Accra municipality, we have about 90% toilet coverage. Or let me say 94%, 84% toilet coverage household. But the issue is, the truth be told, in 2015, we had this project that we call the Gamma Toilet Project. And the Gamma Toilet Project was a project that Ghana received some funding from the World Bank to help deprived areas have household toilet facilities. So people were leveraging on that Gamma Toilet Project. And a lot of households, that lead to the increment of the household toilet coverage. So this about 84% or 83% toilet coverage that we have within the Gamma enclave. The about 16% that don't have the toilet facilities are what we see practicing the open defecation.
15%.
The 15% that we see practicing the open defecation. And that is why you just asked. Cultural plays a role in one of this. Somebody will say that
what's the meaning?
Meaning the gods of the sea is not lazy.
Okay.
So when you defecate by the sea, the water will come and take it away. You understand?
Okay.
Because of that, they will do that there. Somebody will tell you, when I go to defecate by the seaside, I breathe air, fresh air.
Mm-hmm.
The breeze of the sea is something that they feel. This is human behavior. Others will tell you, the house is mine. You cannot come and force me to build a toilet. I will depend on the public toilet. Now the question is, if you depend on the public toilet, what of in the night when they close?
Okay.
What happens? That is where the open defecation now sets in. It's not just about the household, but even institutions, corporate bodies, market centers, public areas. How are the areas are? Do they have toilet facilities? Do they have water running? These are all things we need to look at. That is why I said when we say sanitation, it is not just by the ways we see on the surface of the earth, but all these things comes together to build the sanitation that we are talking about. People are refusing to take responsibilities upon themselves. They just talk loose. It is an offense in the sanitation bylaw, AMA 2017 sanitation bylaw, to defecate in the open. When you are arrested, you can be taken to court and you can pay not less than 1,200, or you can go to prison for not less than 3 months.
Wow.
Yes.
And people are aware of these things.
And people are aware of these things. We send people to court every now and then. We do open defecation swap. We arrest people. We bring them. We take them to court. Some people are able to pay. Some are not able to pay. They are sent to the prison custody. They go and come back. But people are refusing to change. Why? Because the behavior of us in this country is something. Changing the behavior of typical Ghanaian is very, very difficult. Somebody will say it is difficult like the monkey buttons. You understand? So behavior is the issue that we see the open defecation. And this is done mostly among the youth. It's the youth that are doing this. So you ask yourself, what is the future of our country? If this is done, and the people we arrest are mostly the youth. Somebody will
around which age bracket?
Let me say the middle age bracket, between 18 to 25.
Wow.
Yes. Somebody will build a house, build a kitchen, and rent out the toilet facility for people to live in. Forgetting that when you go to the kitchen and come, you will have to visit the toilet, because the kitchen and the toilet has some form of what? Linkages. There's no way you go to the kitchen without going to the washroom. It is not for anything. Even during the what will I say, the Israelites' time, even God said, when you do it, don't leave it on the surface of the earth. Dig it and then cover it up. Why is it that now that we are civilized and we are still practicing public open defecation? When somebody even hear that we are depending on what do you call it, public toilet, they frown, because public toilet is good for us.
Yes,
it's not good for our health. Public toilet, when you live in a house and you don't have a toilet in your house, there are security issues attached to it. There are health issues attached to it. For instance, if you are going to visit the public toilet in the night, armed robbers can trail you and come to your house to rob you. If you are a woman, they can rape you. If the toilet is not properly clean, you can pick up some form of infection. The public toilet is an ecosystem of what? Diseases, contamination, or diseases, infection. But a lot of people prefer to leverage on the public toilet. So open defecation is something that we are fighting with, and that is what we want to eliminate. So there is this project. At least we are trying to see communities that are trying their best. If this community is, let me say, you have about 90% of household toilet, we will even try to, let me say, identify that community as open defecation free community. But we are not trying to get it. Okay. And also the infrastructure is another thing. This Gamma project that I mentioned about, we are using a new technology that we call biofuel or biodigester because of the land scarcity. So with the biodigester, just a small portion of land, you can have your toilet with your system that the water can be recycled and used in our gardens. But
the water from the feces?
Yes, that is the, so it goes through treatment process. Okay. So at the last end of it, it's not contaminated. You can use it to water your garden.
But you know, people open these water into their gutters. How about that?
That one is the effluent. I will come to that. Okay. That one is not the biodigester. Okay. That one comes straight from their septic tank. And it is an offense to channel effluent through the drain. Reason being that the water that passes through the drain, sometimes our brothers and sisters that are mentally disturbed, they drink from this water. And if you channel your effluent direct into the drain, it means you are poisoning that person. It doesn't just end there. Our vegetable growers, they grow their vegetables by these drains. They collect water from the drains to water the vegetables. So you channel your effluent through the drain, it means they are collecting human waste to water the vegetables, and then it comes back to the market and we go to feed on it, and leads to typhoid fever and cholera.
Wow.
Yes.
It's like a cycle.
It's a cycle. So whatever you do, whatever goes around, comes around. So sometimes you go to the house to register the people for this biodigester toilet. It goes with, it is number size. The number of that use it will determine the dimension of the facility. So if you are 10 and then you say you are 5, they'll give you 5 dimension. then the 10 people use it, within 3 months, it is destroyed. It cannot be worked again. Then you live in the house, you have a toilet, but you don't have it. There's difference between having it and accessing it. If you have it and you can't access it, you don't have it.
But why would people cut the number of
Because
households?
of the price.
Okay.
You understand? People
Is it not subsidized?
It is subsidized, but with the sizes. Let's say from 10 going, it is 2,000. Because they don't want to pay the 2,000, they will tell you we are 5, so that they will pay 1,000 cedis or they will pay 700.
But did you tell them of the consequences?
Sure. Because you don't live in the house, they will give you the number, and this is what you are working with. So truthfulness is another thing that is disturbing us. So with the biodata, it was a good technology because it goes through treatment. So at the end of the day, you can channel that water into your garden for greening. But we have embraced it in the wrong way. As for channeling our effluent through the drain, it's a not. Because when we get you, immediately you can be arraigned before court. You don't even need a summons. It's the environmental health officer and the police officer who can arrest without a warrant. But the police officer wears a uniform. The environmental officer is not wearing a uniform. So you see the difference. That is it.
So if there are legislations backing open defecation, why are people still choosing to do that?
Yes, so enforcement is another thing. Okay. The enforcement bit is that, we in the whole country, environmental officers, we are just about 4,000 with some little number to it. So we cannot always be at one at the same time. So sanitation issues are collective effort. It takes, you bring your own, I bring my own, then we have it solved. So I spoke about the mobility issues. So if we hear a complaint that there is open defecation going on at this place, an environmental officer will have to go there to inspect. You will want to carry out a swoop. You do not have a means of vehicle. How do you go to arrest the person? You send a person to court. The person is being remanded. You have to send the person to the police custody. You do not even have a vehicle to send the person. You have to rent a vehicle to send the person to the place with your own money. There are times we arrest these junkies who dump indiscriminately, and you want to send them to the police custody to be processed for court. You have to go and buy a shirt, a clean shirt for them to wear before the police can admit them. So there are a lot of things we do behind the scene that people do not see. So the enforcement bit is another, that all still boils back to the logistics. If the logistics are there, environmental officers are ready to work and work well. If the government should empower environmental officers and give them the necessary resources, I'm telling you, you will see a different face of Ghana. I'm just daring the government to resource the environmental health officers, give them all the necessary tools that they need for clean environment, for the cleanness of this country. I'm giving you just 5 months. You will see a different face of this country. Not until then, the little we can do, that is what we are doing.
All right. So I want viewers to know the dangers that is posed to them with these open defecation practices. So just highlight on them and let's see the
So open defecation is a serious issue. One, it contaminates the environment, the soil. Contamination of the soil, contamination of water sources, contamination of food, contamination of, and so it all leads back to health issue. Because anybody that has ever had typhoid fever, it means you've ingested human excreta indirectly without knowing, directly without knowing. Anyone that has ever had cholera, you've ingested human excreta without knowing.
Cholera?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure, without knowing. Because cholera comes through improper management of sanitation. And open defecation is part of sanitation. Open defecation is liquid waste. Improper management of liquid waste, that is open defecation. So you defecate, the fly goes to perch on it and bring it onto your food, and you eat the food. The fly is the cleanest animal you can find of Yes, because they don't like that. It will go and touch on whatever you do and come and wash and get up and go. So open defecation can lead to death. Open defecation can lead to sickness. Open defecation can lead to contamination of our water sources. And when we drink contaminated water, you run diarrhea, you get cholera. When you eat contaminated food through open defecation, we just mentioned of imagine somebody defecating into the drain, then it rains, the water carry it, then the vegetable grower goes to fetch that water and use it to water the vegetable, then bring it to the market and you go to buy, you eat, you fall sick, you die. So open defecation is the backbone of all diseases, all preventable diseases. Yes.
You've mentioned typhoid,
yes,
cholera, malaria.
Diarrhea. Yeah. Open defecation does not lead to malaria. Okay. It leads to diarrhea.
But poor sanitation leads to malaria.
Yes. It leads to diarrhea. It leads to typhoid fever, dysentery. Yes. Nausea and even vomiting. Yes.
Oh,
and death. You can die through it.
Okay.
Yes.
At the long
run. Yes.
All right, so we've opened the phone lines. Just call in and submit all your interesting suggestions, ideas, what you think we can do to make this work better, okay? So the phone lines are on the screen, 0500-500-423. Just call in. This is the opportunity to call and make all your submissions on the Cocoa Digest Morning Show. So you had a campaign.
Sure.
Hurunsa Fasamina, yes. Do you remember?
Yes.
What happened to that campaign?
So that campaign was on the Clean Ghana campaign. It was on the during the outbreak of cholera, that campaign came in. So you see, the woman was not even doing open defecation. She went into the toilet. So when you go into the toilet and you come, you must wash your hands. That is prevention of cholera. You understand? So when you go to the toilet facility, you come out, you wash your hands with water, under running water, not in communal water. Communal water means you fetch the water in a bowl and then you wash the hands. The bacteria is there, you pick it out and you send it back. But when you wash under running water, you wash and then you wash the bacteria down and then you go.
So why did we stop advertising this?
I know it. You know, some of these adverts they are paid. It's a project. It's a campaign. When the campaign is over, then it is also over.
Wow.
Yes.
All right. So call in, send your messages, and send your submissions. What do you think we can do better on Ghana's sanitation? We've spoken about open defecation. We've spoken about the plastic waste, which the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, would be banning very soon. And this brings to the question of what happened to the businesses and the manufacturers of those plastics. We have a caller. Let's listen to what he has to say. Hello. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning, sir. Thanks so much for joining in. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Please, your name and where you are calling from, please.
My name is MOG. I'm talking from New Etuabo, Takwa.
Takwa, okay. Please go ahead. What do you have to say on the poor sanitation of Ghana?
Okay, so with regards to the poor sanitation, I heard the guest saying open defecation has to do with improper disposal of liquid waste. My question is, what about those who defecate? What about those who defecate at the seaside? Is that one too liquid waste?
Okay. So she will get some clarification there for you, okay? So what do you have to say about that?
When you talk about liquid waste is the toilet and the mixture of toilet, the grey water and runoff water. That is what we call liquid waste.
Okay.
So people who defecate by the roads, the seaside, it is indiscriminate defecation.
Okay.
And it is not properly managed. Because when they defecate, the water comes to take it into the sea. Then the environment that you realize that I said open defecation can contaminate the environment. When the fishermen brings the fish from the sea, they come to land
by the shore.
By the shore. So by the shore, the excreta is there. When they come, they don't care. They'll just use sand to cover it and just put the fish there. Imagine you go to get the fish, and the fish is bad with excreta. The woman just put everything together. When they even get the fish, they first some of the sea sand to sprinkle on it. I don't know the science behind it, but they'll first some of the sea sand to sprinkle on it. And the sand is already contaminated. So the fish that is being sent from the sea to the house to get processed for consumption has already been contaminated. Because it is not all the organisms that can die or that are able to be killed through a high temperature. Some are there during high temperature, they hibernate. Then when the temperature, the environment becomes suitable, they multiply. Then you eat it and you get sick. Yes.
Wow. Open defecation.
Yes.
But even if they cover it or they don't cover it, even if there are no fishmongers around that area, there are flies that are hovering about. Yes. You can just travel
with it and then come and put it wherever you are. It will come and give it to you and go.
Okay.
So open defecation is what will I say? It's a thin line between life and death.
Okay.
Yes, open defecation is a thin line between life and death. It's so dangerous.
So the Food and Drugs Authority, I know you are also inspectors aside the Food and Drugs Authorities. What kind of collaboration do you have there with them?
Okay, so with the Food and Drug Authority, they regulate. They regulate on the food. Yes, they are regulators. We are also part of regulator, but we do local regulation. They do the national and the regional regulation. And there are times that we collaborate to work. They are into industrial, huge sum of, now there are chemicals, food and other things. Everybody has their boundary. So the Food and Drug Authority, they are into regulations of the food business service, and we are also into enforcement.
Enforcement.
Yes.
So you go to the vendors to ensure
that the environment is clean for wherever somebody is preparing the food, where the food is coming from. Even the food selection at the market, people are selling wholesome food products in the market. People are not selling rotten.
All right, let's pick a caller very soon. People are interested with the sanitation and how we can curb it. Let's listen to Benjamin from Adan. Hello, Benjamin.
Yeah, madam.
Hi, good morning.
Morning, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much. What do you have to say?
Thank you very much for your program this morning.
Okay.
I thank you for my sister who talking to you in the radio studio right now. It is true, if you come to our seaside, we don't have sanitation. And then we need a more sanitation for our seaside. Because before you go for seaside, come back early in the morning, you will see that the people go toilet for the seaside. So people, they don't cover it. So at the same time, no, we bring the fish to the ground before the women will take to the house. We have a lot of problem in our fish we are eating. So I'm begging that if the government can help to stop this in our society, I'll be proud.
Thanks so much.
In our seaside.
Thanks so much,
because
Benjamin.
If you are talking, people say you are arrogant and you do it. We need sanitation. We need to protect ourselves. So thank you very much. Madam. God bless you in your program this morning.
Thanks so much, Benjamin. Thank you for contributing to this. Yeah. So is it about covering the fecals or it's about not doing it at all?
It's about not doing it at all.
Okay.
Because that is why we have toilet. Somebody will say, toilet is not the excreta you see. Toilet is the fixture that receives the excreta. It's the structure, the structure that receive that we go to shit inside. That is why we must do it and do it right, and it must go through treatment. That is why when we go to dislodge our septic tanks, we don't just go dump it anywhere. We send it to the liquid waste treatment site. It goes through treatment. Then the dry aspect can even be turned into something usable. Others are using it as charcoal. Yes. Then the treated water is channeled back into the system. When you go to other countries, that is how it is. They have water that they use for flushing and other things, and they have the one that they drink. So when you flush, it goes through the system, the sewer line, goes for treatment and comes back. So it goes round. But in this part of our country, we are not getting that kind of treatment. That is what we are seeing this.
All right, let's listen to another caller, Lodina. Lodina. Hello, Lodina.
Yeah, hello.
How are you? How is the people of Adenta? And what do you have to say?
Yeah, hello.
Lodina, what contribution do you have? Yes, Lodina, I can hear you clearly. Please go ahead.
Yeah, everybody is okay.
Thank God.
I'm here to say that what mommy is saying is very right.
Okay. Is there any other thing? What are the practices you see in Adenta? Oh, we lost Lodina. Sorry there. All right. This open defecation thing is a major issue, but yes. I think with education and let me tell our viewers, they are saying, or it has been said, that your fecal or your feces that you put out there ends up affecting the feces you are chewing. But we can use it as other means, other resources. Yes. We can use the feces you are dumping at the seaside
to produce gas.
To produce gas for you.
Yes.
So why don't you want us to use your feces to produce something that will be beneficial to the economy? And you decide to do that, to contaminate what you eat, and you end up getting cholera. You will die. You will die. This is a national issue, and I think we all have to talk about it. So, let me see. The Greater Accra Regional Minister, Madam Linda Oklu, has mentioned some things she wants to do to help the poor sanitation situation in Greater Accra. We want to quickly take that particular video, then we speak to it, okay? All right. So, producer, if you can hear me, please let's play the video of the Greater Accra Regional Minister and what she has to say about enforcing sanitation, proper sanitation measures in Accra.
Totally monitoring exercise and provide by the Local Governance Act 936. Sanitation and waste management. We will review and implement a comprehensive sanitation and waste policy in line with the NDC's Clean Up Ghana initiative to promote a healthier and cleaner environment. Waste segregation will be encouraged with support for garbage bins, bags, bins in public places and homes. The capacities of sanitation and waste management department in MMDAs will be strengthened to ensure efficiency. One of the key performance indicators for metropolitan, municipal, and district chief executives will be their effectiveness in managing sanitation and waste. The reintroduction of the National Sanitation Day and the Cleaner City Award will promote a competitive and responsible approach to environmental sanitation. In line with this, there will be a regional sanitation day on the last Friday of every month. We will coordinate and monitor the enforcement of the National Sanitation Day policy, ensuring that MMDAs implement sustainable, integrated solid waste management strategies based on prevention, separation, reduction, recycling, and safe disposal. Social and behavioral change campaigns will be intensified to educate and reorient citizens on proper sanitation policies.
So that was Ms. Linda Oklu, the Greater Accra Regional Minister. And she's highlighting some of the policies or the way we go about the sanitation in Accra. And I want to ask our guest, what are your takes on what she said?
She nailed it. She nailed it on the head.
Are these practical and possible?
That is
because
what
I remember Mokola was having once in a month cleanup exercise. I don't know where that thing is. So how are we enforcing this?
So that is you see, she brought the policy and she highlighted some solutions that she's going to undertake to let the policy come to being. Okay. That is leadership. You understand? She knows very well that without bringing in those solutions, sanitation day she is bringing up will not see the day of the light. She mentioned empowering of the environmental health officers at all MMDs.
That's where you're interested.
That's where my interest is. So if we are empowered, we are going to work. If we are empowered, we are going to enforce the laws because priority is being given there. Nobody is going to stop you. And when you enforce the laws rightly, the city is going to be clean. You understand? If we are empowered logistically, we are going to have all the tools that we are going to use to work, to collect the waste. We will not clean and leave the waste there standing. She also mentioned the waste separation, the segregation, the recycling, the reuse, all that. And she mentioned the buyback centers I mentioned about.
Yes.
So you see, so she brought the policy and she came up with some solutions. And I pray and hope that the solutions that she has brought on board, it will be worked truly for it to be practical. Everybody wants to see a clean city. When you travel outside, are you not always happy? You're always happy. And then when you come back to your country, you frown.
Okay.
We all want to see what is happening in the foreign countries, in the western side, inside Ghana.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. So I want to pick your last comment, but let me read this quickly. This is from Nashia. He's saying that suggestions empower environmental health officers, pay off all student allowance, post all graduated environmental health officers to work effectively, then identification of officers by government. This is someone's suggestion to the government of Ghana. And I want to pick we are out of time. I want to pick words on sanitation.
My final word on sanitation is human health. If we don't practice good sanitation, the health of the human being is going to be deteriorated. So please, let's try as much as possible to stop indiscriminate dumping. Everybody should ensure that we manage our waste properly. Food, and then food safety will lead us to a healthy people in the country.
All right, so that's all our conversation here on the Cocoa Digest Morning Show. This is where we wrap up, and today we were talking about enhancing sanitation management in Accra. So from today to go, we are hoping that we will be better people, right? Yeah. So enjoy the rest of your day. All the best in everything you do, and let's good sanitation practices be your hallmark.
CLOG TV. Beyond the policy.